Howdy, folks. Where to begin? It is July 2024, and we are still faced with the very real possibility that Donald Trump could make his way back into the White House. And it is looking a little more positive, like we may be able to prevent that from happening. However, it's still a very real possibility that it may happen. Now, following January 6th, whether or not you thought his 4 years in office went well, I certainly did not. Following January 6th, you shouldn't be able to find 2 out of 10 Americans who call themselves patriots and say they love the Constitution who would also say with a straight face that they plan on voting for this guy again. Donald Trump's language, the way he uses communication and language, is so effective because it enables the people who support him to hear exactly what they want and need to hear, and to do so in a way that you can never actually pin him down. It's so fluid, he can always back out or spin his way into a different meaning. However, sometimes he says something that's really hard to spin his way out of. And I want to address what he said this past weekend to a group of Christians at Turning Point USA about voting. Now, there is some disagreement as to whether or not he says he's a Christian or not a Christian. I heard he's not a Christian, but in what I'm about to read, that is the only area of disagreement. I want to slow this down and you to hear the words and try to interpret meaning. I want you to listen to it in a way that is not Donald Trump communicating, just the way a normal person communicates. And try to spin your way out of this, okay? Christians, get out and vote. Just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm not Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. Why would they not have to vote again? In 4 years, he's going to fix it so perfect that... What? Okay. Well, in an effort to help him clean this up, Laura Ingraham interviews him. And it makes it much, much worse. Laura Ingraham. And I'm going to read this verbatim, word salad and all. Laura Ingraham asked, well, they're also attacking you for ridiculous reasons. They're saying that you said to a crowd of Christians that they wouldn't have to vote? Trump. So with respect to like a statement like I made that statement is very simple. I said vote for me. You're not going to have to do it ever again. It's true because we have to get the vote out. Christians are not known as a big voting group. Bullshit. Christians are a big voting group. They don't vote. And I'm explaining that to them. You never vote. This time vote. I'll straighten out the country. You won't have to vote anymore. I won't need your vote. You can go back. Okay, you won't have to vote anymore? If a democracy continued after 4 years, why would they not need to vote anymore? They wouldn't need to vote for the next president? They wouldn't need to vote for their senators or for their representatives in the House of Representatives or positions at the state level when they want to continue, when that system continue? If a democracy continued, they'd certainly need to continue voting. And you can go back to where? Well, anyway, Laura Ingraham continues. They don't have to vote for you because you'll have four years in office? Trump. Christians are known. You know who else doesn't vote? Gun owners don't vote. What? Okay. Ingraham. Well, it's being interpreted, as you are not surprised to hear, by the left as, well, they're never going to have another election. So can you even just respond? She is literally begging him to stop stepping in it. Trump. I said Christians. I started off by saying, just so you understand, you never vote. Christians do not vote. Well, they vote in very small percentages. Why? I don't know. Maybe they're disappointed in things that are happening, but for a long time I say, you don't vote. I'm saying go out. You must vote. November 5th is going to be the most important election in the history of our country, whether you vote early or not. We should have, by the way, one-day voting. We should have voter ID, we should have proof of citizenship, and we should have paper ballots, okay? That's what we should. We don't have that. But I said to the Christians in the room, thousands of them, I said, typically, Christians do not vote. Why is that? I don't know. You're rebellious. Something's going on. Don't worry about the future. You have to vote on November 5th. After that, you don't have to worry about voting anymore. I don't care because we're going to fix it. The country will be fixed, and we won't need your vote anymore. Because frankly, we will have such love. If you don't want to vote anywhere, that's okay. And I think everybody understood it. don't worry about the future. You have to vote on November 5th. After that, you don't have to worry about voting anymore. I don't care, because we're going to fix it. The country will be fixed, and we won't need your vote anymore, because frankly, we will have such love. If you don't want to vote anywhere, that's okay. And I think everybody understood it. Well, I certainly understood it. Here's what I understood. This is the language of a dictator. This is the language of an autocrat. If someone asked a normal presidential candidate this question, so we're going to go back to Laura Ingraham's question. Well, it's being interpreted, as you were not surprised to hear, by the left. Well, they're not going to have another election, so can you even just respond? Here's a really simple response. Well, hey guys, that's silly. Of course there's going to be elections. I believe in democracy. I believe in our constitutional republic. I believe in the Constitution, and I support every American's ability to use their voice through their vote to build the kind of republic that they want. Wow. Okay, well, you really cleared that up. Thank you, sir. But that's not what we got, guys. If you let this fox back in the hen house, there's only two ways that he leaves. One is he chooses to leave, which he's not going to do that, and the other is death. That's it. That's the only way the fox gets out of the hen house. He's done eating, or he dies. So, guys, don't put this guy back in the White House. Whether or not you like Vice President Kamala Harris, if you vote yourself out of a vote, you think the government is too big, right? And you think the government doesn't have our best interest. What happens when we stop having a say at all, at the local, at the state, at the federal level? You're voting yourself out of your ability to vote. You're voting away your voice. And the people most likely to vote away their voice are the ones who say that they don't trust the government. You're going to trust it with this guy? You trust him with your health care? You trust him with your freedoms, your freedom of speech, your right to bear arms, your freedom to travel? You trust this guy? He's telling you what he's going to do very, very, very clearly. Don't listen to the way that he communicates. Listen to what he communicates. He has no intention of continuing with a democratic order. Not in the least. He will do everything that he possibly can to put his foot on it and crush it. You may be okay with that, but I am fucking not.